You know how people are always stressing the importance of feeling safe? Well, nobody really talks about how to do that, right? It's easy to say that in order to manifest money, in order to manifest love, in order to manifest opportunities, in order to manifest support, you need to feel safe. You need to feel safe with being seen, safe with being loved. But nobody tells you how to do that. How do you feel safe? Especially when you've been through so much trauma in your life, when your environment screams, run, take cover. How do you create a place of safety? How do you feel safe? Well, the answer is your thoughts. That's the only thing that can make you feel safe. Now, when we talk about trauma, it's very important to understand how your brain works biologically. Your brain, your body is programmed to remember in order to protect you for future situations. So let's say you go through a traumatic event and something scares you. As soon as your body picks up any signs that that event is taking place, it automatically tries to protect you by sending those same feelings and emotions to get out, to run. It's trying to help you. So it's very important that you tell yourself that even though the situation might appear to be similar, it's not that situation. And then you bring yourself to the present and remind yourself that is not happening right now. Let's just use love, for example. You've been through heartbreaks. And so now you meet someone new and they do something that triggers you. Your body, which is trying to help you, remember, your brain sends you a signal, it is unsafe. You've experienced this before, this is looking real familiar. Even if that's not the case, what you have to do is you have to reprogram your mind. You have to speak to yourself in that moment and remind yourself, I am not in danger. That's not what's happening right now. If you find yourself being triggered by past trauma, let's just say you have a past memory. You went through some type of trauma as a child. All of a sudden, you notice your body starts to react the same way you would have when you were a child. It's trying to protect you. So it responds with fight, flight, or freeze. But the way that you can help yourself to feel safe in that moment is to remind yourself that that event is not happening right now. Even though I'm having that memory, which remember, the memory is now associated with an emotion. Even though I'm having that memory, I'm not going through that experience at this time. I'm completely safe. I'm fine. It's a form of bringing yourself back to the present. Because many times when you find yourself experiencing anxiety, is because you're stuck in the future or you're stuck in the past. So say there's a big event that you're anticipating that's supposed to happen in the future. Next thing you know, even though you haven't experienced it yet, you find yourself having anxiety. You don't know what to expect. And like many people, you start to think the worst. You start to think about all of the things that can happen. All the calculations are running through your mind of how you can F this up. So you start to experience anxiety. Once again, you remind yourself, that's not happening. I'm safe. And in fact, I'm going to actually create a different thought. I'm going to allow myself to see everything working out for me. I'm going to allow myself to see the best case scenario. Why do we always assume that we should default to the worst case scenario? Because you're trying to protect yourself. It's a defense mechanism. You ever heard the saying, prepare for the worst and hope for the best? I don't agree with that. Why would you prepare for the worst? You're literally telling your mind that the worst is possible. So you're creating that reality. How about we hope for the best and prepare for the best? It's all about our thoughts. When it comes to feeling safe, you have to cultivate safe thoughts. Just that I'm doing okay, I'm doing good, I'm thriving, I'm fine right now, I'm healed, I've overcome that. I'm no longer in that place. I'm no longer in that situation. I'm no longer in that relationship. I'm no longer in that timeline. Now, this is very important for my quantum jumpers. I am no longer in that timeline. Because understand, yeah, you might have gone through traumatic experiences, but that doesn't mean that it will dictate the rest of your life. Especially if you're doing the work. Remember, you have to believe it before you see it. And the only way that you're going to call in safe relationships, safe business partnerships, is if you create a place of safety within yourself. You are your own oasis. So if you want to feel safe, it starts with you. And another thing I'll add is many of us are addicted to chaos. That's right. Many of us are addicted to drama. We're addicted to chaos. And the way that you'll know this is when you experience a state of peace, when you experience stillness, and you notice yourself begin to kind of freak out. You will begin to create problems and issues in your life. Have you ever done that? And then you realize that there really aren't any problems. I'm actually creating this. You know why? Let me just break it down for you. Your brain, it has preset settings. And those preset settings are based on how you've programmed it. The thoughts that you've been sending it throughout your life, your responses, your reactions. And so it's programmed almost like a clock to send certain signals to go off to help you. And so if you're used to experiencing trauma and drama every single day, your brain has already programmed that into your body. So you might experience dysregulated nervous system, anxiety. Now say you begin to experience peace. Your brain doesn't recognize that function. It's already programmed for chaos. So you know what's going to happen? Your brain will actually start sending you thoughts to dysregulate your nervous system. Your brain will actually begin to create issues where there are none. Now you might think like, why would you do that, brain? Well, it's trying to help you. Remember, your body doesn't like change. So once you realize that, you've already won half the battle. Your brain, your subconscious, doesn't like change. And so it is very possible that you can get addicted to chaos, addicted to lack. Let me explain how this plays out when it comes to money. So you've cultivated this mindset where you don't feel safe having money. Next thing you know, you get lots of money. And it literally burns through your pockets, as they say. And you're here wondering, why can't I keep any money? Every time I get a lot of money, I plan to save, I plan to do all these things, and next thing you know, I've spent all my money. So the fact that your body is used to poverty, is used to lack, and remember, what happens when you're in lack? chaos, anxiety, dysregulated nervous system. So this goes back into the pre-settings, right? And this happens to a lot of lottery winners who haven't done the work. Their body has gotten used to poverty, has gotten used to chaos. So now they get all this money, they're at peace, they have nothing to worry about. It's too much for them to handle. Because they're addicted to chaos, they're addicted to lack, they're addicted to a dysregulated nervous system. So they'll literally spend all of their money in order to go back to that state of lack because it's most comfortable to them. Yeah. It's deep. So now apply this to every situation in your life. Relationships, opportunities. Many people pass up opportunities that can actually help change their life because they're addicted to living paycheck to paycheck. They're addicted to the mediocre life. This is why the work is so important.